All right, let's get started. Good morning, good morning. Batter up. All right, so obviously the Bitcoin breakout was pretty massive. Let's see where we're at with that. Let's take a look at that. All right, Bitcoin, huge breakout, pretty obvious trend line. It's a breakout pullback. So we are pretty much day 3 into the breakout. Push up to 119,000. So we have those plays like coin. That's what I was mentioned yesterday. The day before that would be a pretty big opportunity. Kind of following the Bitcoin pattern. Yeah, happy Friday. Also, we might have some swings for over the weekend. Keep an eye on that too. But yeah, Coinbase, huge flag breakout following Bitcoin. So super interesting. I would expect another green day out of this. Unless we get a failed breakout, which would be also very interesting for a short. But I would expect another green day out of it. So far, it's kind of just holding the gap. So I would expect something like maybe dip out of the open and then hold. And then it just continues higher. Probably, that's what I would guess. Something like this, something like it did yesterday, pretty much. So massive watch on that. And then probably, I would say we're going to have a really nice first red day on this next week for a big short opportunity. So I do want to see it go higher though today. Let's take a look at some small caps. Remove starting soon. Thank you. Let's forget about that. Yeah, let's take a look at some small caps. I'm also trying out a new short strategy, super small size. Gonna be interesting. See if there's anything good in pre-market. So coin, Scotty says, would like a pullback to 382. Yeah, that's pretty much, I think even just below yesterday's high would be pretty good. Even 386, something like that. And if it does, see, I have this 5-minute 200 moving average. So if it could fail the 200 like it already did, but then reclaim it around 10 or 11 o'clock, just like it did yesterday, this would be great. So some sort of morning dip hold. Don't really want it to pull back too much because it needs to be able to reclaim. But yeah, anywhere in 381 to 386 area, 388, would be really nice. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these small caps. Got a biotech. This one has potential to really run. announced publication of another landmark case in some, I don't know, magazine or journal or something. So they're doing a publication of a landmark case. Interesting. This is probably okay for my short strategy, so keep an eye on that. SGN. Why are we up? Okay, business combination with One Blockchain LLC. Bitcoin news. Okay, so it's business combination with a newly created corporation. So they just created a new corporation, and now they've combined with them. They've merged. So it just seems like total fluff news. But it is piggybacking off that Bitcoin hype. So this is one I'm short using the new strategy, which is very simple. The whole idea is these small caps tend to fade 80% of the time, 90% of the time, something like that, on day one, if you cannot get stopped out. So trying some small positions with wider risk. See how that goes. ABVE, this one ran yesterday. It looks like a gap up short day. Gap up short day. Day two. Probably comes down pretty hard today, I would imagine. Timing's difficult, but gonna try the new strat on this. FTFT, I'm late to the party. This thing already came back down, peaked at 4:30 in the morning. We see a lot of them like this. Might have to start getting up early for these. They just fade so good. But now we have to wait for the bounce, so it could bounce back up and give another opportunity to trade it. So that'll be a watch for sure. That's pretty much it. BTOG, I'm short as well. Bit Origin. Running because Bitcoin, penny stock, or sub-dollar stock. So it probably just fades all day. I have a couple nice little trend or horizontal levels here. It popped up to the top one. I could imagine that coming all the way back down to the bottom one if it doesn't want to break out. It is a multi-day breakout, so this one could actually have some staying power in it. But I'm just going to try to play the odds and see if it wants to fade. Really got to work out the shorting because there's so many opportunities, but you just can't get stopped out if you're right. I did take a swing on GameStop long. Kind of a weird one, but it's basically just another Bitcoin play because they're buying Bitcoin, and I don't think they're going to do an offering after just having done an offering, and this thing has already settled out, so I think the base is pretty much in on GameStop for now. Gonna risk the obvious low area. We want to see some higher lows come in. So risking like 21 bucks basically. And the IV popped pretty nicely over here. So I'm going to be trying to sell some covered calls on it. Hopefully it'll pop a little bit better than this. Get back over, 2350 area at least. And then start selling some covered calls on it. The nice thing with GameStop is it's like a options premium farm. So if you can get positioned in it and they don't drop offerings on you, then the selling covered calls is pretty nice. So it had a pretty wild pop over here on the 9th. So something happened. I don't know what happened there. I was watching this for a breakdown, and then it held a double bottom. Yeah, right here. So it kind of took out the low slightly, and then it ripped right up, which is pretty significant. It wasn't trading a ton over here, but it's showing some signs of life there. So I ended up buying in on the dip. So I'm in at 23. And I would love to just see it pop a little bit more, and I'll start selling some covered calls on it. It is holding kind of a nice flag. Still not a lot going on with it, but it seems to be hanging in there. Might even just risk the double bottom area, like 2250. We want to see some higher lows. And if it does hold up, we're going to be in this kind of scenario from April, where it held the double bottom over here in April, and then it just kind of held up really nice for a couple of months. So that's basically 2 months of selling premium. And then if it breaks some sort of obvious trend line, I'm not going to stick around. I'm just going to sell it. But I do want to try to farm some premium on it. Let's see. Honestly, I was looking at Invax again. The stock kind of sucks, but there is a decent little trend break here. We've tried this one before, ended up failing. But yeah, it's a nice little trend break. I did take a little position on this again. Got to do one more try on it. See how that turns out. I don't have a ton of faith in that, but the pattern looks pretty sweet. Kind of Pfizer might be a better play. It's already moving better than Invax. I don't know. I don't think vaccines are really in play right now, but it's kind of a nice trend breakout. Hard to ignore that. Hertz is hanging out pretty nicely. Looking for the breakout on Hertz. So it's held pretty well. Nice double bottom here on this bigger flag. Held the higher low. And now just pushed out of that higher low base. So hopefully it hangs out here for a while and then does it again for the true breakout. Oh yeah, another big one. So we looked at coin. Pretty nice flag breakout on coin. Going into day 3 now. Hood is sort of the same kind of setup, but it hasn't broken out yet. So there was a nice little trend break on Hood yesterday, and it hasn't broken out over the high yet of this flag. So there's a chance we get that on Hood today or maybe over the weekend. So I'm going to try to hold this one for the breakout. And hopefully it holds up. I bought some last night in after hours. So yeah, we had this little trend breakout and then pulled back. So I bought right around here. I got it at 96.20. A little better than I thought. Just bought the dip right here. So up a little bit on that. Hopefully that holds some higher lows too. But that is looking like a super nice breakout setup. Just like Coinbase. And hopefully this isn't some massive fake out, but we're going to find out today. Another big one I'm watching is D-Dog, which there's kind of rumors of, I think it was Apple acquiring D-Dog. But this is an interesting setup. They're added to the S&P 500. There's a big trend break coming, maybe. And they had this gap on earnings. I think it was earnings. Maybe it wasn't earnings. Why did it gap here? 7.3. What was the news? Oh, surging after making S&P 500 debut. So that's the day they got added to the S&P 500, which is pretty big news. But this is a very particular kind of setup that we've seen in the past here. Like, here's one. Usually happens on earnings, but you get this big gap and then it just runs for a couple months. And it is possible for this to work even if it fills that gap. So this one's filling the gap. But we have a nice trend forming right here on this gap fill. So might be trying this on this trend break right here. It's really getting tight on that trend line. So we'll see if it holds up. No rush really. This day over here on the 8th had a massive, massive volume day. So I wouldn't mind even waiting for it to get back to 150 to try it. And then risk this dip low area. Make a lot of sense. And then hopefully it runs for that mega breakout. All right, Al's trying one right here in CVM. Long at 508. Got to be quick. The bot likes it. I'd never take that trade. Mainly because I would miss it. Yup, okay, do it. Yeah, it's going for big targets here, so I don't know. I'd be locking in right here. Gotta always be watching. That's right. I'll do be watching. What do you think? Should I lock it in or not? No response means yes, lock it in. Let's see what we got here. Partnership agreement with leading Saudi Arabian pharma company. Treatment of head and neck cancer. $5 million shares outstanding. CVM. Live by the owl, die by the owl, I guess. It's got a really, really good start to it. Timing for open could be great. True. If we get 100%, I'm just going to lock it in. Yeah, as long as it doesn't fail. That's always the trick. So we'll see how it does. I mean, you never get 100% if you never go for 100%. CVM. All right. Let's see it. We're up like 40% right now, 30%. We need those top tickers to come in and squeeze it for us. Yeah, the timing for the open is really nice. You're right about that. Well, it's kind of break-even risk now. Yeah, you just got to buy the micro pullback on the 1 second chart. This company has negative cash. Oh, looks like a fail. Is that a halt or is that a fake halt? That's a halt. At least we won't lose on it if it fails totally. Oh, hood's going nicely. Sweet. GameStop looking good. Ooh, Scotty says MP fantasy short. It's a wicked one. Jeez. That one is a real company with a government contract. I don't know. You never know with those. I don't think that was a bad try. CVM halted down. Hopefully that pulls off some kind of crazy squeeze. Could happen. Like proc. I want a proc style squeeze. Give me one of these. You know? Like, give me one of these guys. That's all I'm asking. Not asking too much. Alright, I'm up on every short right now. We'll see if that maintains. We just got to hold to the end of the day. I should have slapped hollow too. That one's working great. Yeah, hood's looking pretty nice. Nvidia will not stop. That's amazing. Will there be sympathy plays to Nvidia? Probably. We'll keep an eye out. It is Friday, so I'm gonna be looking for a weekend swing. Uh-oh. TOS won't let me put orders in. It's not good. Huh. Tried to sell some hood at 100, but it wouldn't let me do it. And now my order's stuck. Okay, I canceled. I could cancel. Now I guess I just hold. Stupid platform. I didn't want to sell anyways. Meta find? That sounds interesting. Wow. What is the Zuck doing now? Meta won't tweak pay or consent model further despite risk of EU fines. So risk of fines. So they're going to get fined if they don't do something about it, and they're not going to do something about it. Okay, CDM's still halted. That's been halted for a while. There we go, unhalt. Now, if it holds a dip here, we have a chance of a ridiculous squeeze. Maybe halt it again? Yep. Not looking good. Okay, so Al tried to sell it, but mine did not sell. So you might want to make sure you're out. I can't get orders to go through. Yeah, we're supposed to be out, so uh that's not good. Might want to log into Schwab and execute through the web. I'm just going to put it in through the web. Hopefully that works. Maybe we are out. I can't tell what's happening anymore. It says I'm going short. I don't know. I'm going to have to restart the platform and see what's up. It's almost like I'm out, but it's not showing that I'm out. So I might be short hood right now. I'm not sure. Which, if I did short hood, I nailed the top, so I'm pretty happy with that. That's insane. That doesn't make me very super confident with TOS. TOS is having an issue. Posted in another Discord. Okay. It's kind of a big deal. We don't like that. Yeah, so I logged in to the web on my account, and I have no positions in CVM or hood. Positions. Let's see. All right, logging back in. We'll see what we got. Hopefully it's fixed. I haven't had an issue with TOS in a while. Uh-oh, couldn't connect. Press back, check your connection. Oh, man. Well, GG, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, it says I have no positions open for CVM or hood. So I guess that's good. And neither do you. I think you're okay too. Try again to log back in. Okay, now I can log in. All right, yeah, confirmed. No positions on. Good, I'm back in. All right. Wait. Oh. Yeah, no trades are open. No orders open. That's good. Looks like it's back up. Ooh, GameStop pushing. Yeah, small gain. Okay, good. Nice little push on GameStop. Might be time to start selling some calls. Let's see. That's always exciting. All right. What do you think? GameStop will not go to 25.50. Can sell contract for $22 per contract. Your SIGs aren't working? I had a SIG come through. Let's see. I got NCLH. That's the only one. All right, sold the contract here on GameStop. For next week. So expires next week. If it's below 25.50, I just keep the premium. If it goes over 25.50, I have to sell it at 25.50 for a profit. So I don't want to sell it, but if I have to, then let's see. I'm in at 23. So we'll have to make 10% if it goes to 25.50 by Friday next week. I'm not sure how the weekend like theta decay works. Do you get theta decay over the weekend or not? Let me ask Grok. Yes. So I guess if you're selling calls, it's good to do it on Friday because you immediately have the weekend to burn 2 days off the contract. Makes sense. All right. Yeah, the only other SIG I had was on Amazon. NCLH and Amazon, so not a lot today. PLTR up big time. Core we've had a trend break yesterday. It's still fading. Look at that. That's where the money's at, guys. See you, Scotty. Have a good one. Yep, hood's going higher. Amazing. Small one on AAL covered below 1247 target. Take a look in a second. AAL. Sweet. That's nice. That's a really nice one. That one wasn't play yet the other day, so this one is actually seems to be in play. This big green day over here yesterday brought it into play. So it'll probably be in play for a few days, I'd imagine. Ah. So this is the one I said could squeeze really big in pre-market. And it actually did squeeze huge. This is the only one that squeezed today. Yeah, GME looking crazy. Hopefully it's not too good. I don't actually want to sell. But oh well, if I do, I do. All right, coin is doing exactly what we thought. Well, kinda. It's holding a dip. It needs to reclaim to continue higher. So we'll see if it can do that. It's kind of a big dip though. Yeah, that meta's pretty interesting. Looks like there's tons of opportunities out here. Google filled small wedge breakout. Ooh. It's wedging on the bigger picture too. Yeah, it looks like it failed the bigger wedge here, and now maybe wants to pull back to the bottom of the wedge. Let's see what Jimmy's doing. Super cool. This is kind of like a sympathy to the crypto breakout since GameStop bought crypto. So it's kind of just another way to trade crypto at this point. A little bit more delayed reaction. But like I said too, the premium farming on it is pretty nice. Let's see, our SGN short is working the best. Pretty sweet. D-Dog has a pretty sweet looking trend on it. I think there's plenty of time on this one. Kind of needs to prove itself a bit. ABVE trying to squeeze. All right, gotta get going, guys. I think I'm gonna call it there. Good luck, everyone. I'll post some screenshots in Discord later. And we'll be back on Monday.